EA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today it's live second-round coverage of the Tiburon Championship. Frank, it's just amazing what can be done today. Where you can build golf courses on the moon? I mean, that's what this looks like here at Wolf Creek in Mesquite, Nevada.
And obviously it's an experience, too, that has to be played before you can thoroughly enjoy it, because you just wouldn't think this is possible. If someone said you can come out to the middle of the desert and you're going to play a phenomenal golf course, you'd say it's not possible. But as these holes intertwine around in the canyon area, just wonderful vistas, huge changes in elevations. Really, it's just a fun adventure.
Headed for the bunker? And the tee shot ends up in the bunker. Frank, the good players certainly aren't panicked when they're in a fairway bunker, are they?
Just make sure your feet stay nice and firm in the sand there. There's a tendency to move your feet around a little bit.
Out of the sand and back on the fairway.
Yeah, good shot. Just really utilized that little bit between the ears. Realized he couldn't reach the green and instead opted for fairway.
Try to scramble here. He's giving himself a chance for par. This one just requires a little bit of focus. No, that's not the way you want to start the back nine. Missed putt, bogey, and a drop shot. Nudge this one home, finish it up. Frank, nothing really went the player's way this week.
Yeah, if this was motor racing, you'd say it's a case of having 4 flat tires.
On to the 11th hole, we're looking downhill, 215 yards to the green.
And this is one of the holes that you realize you're at Wolf Creek. You would never see this hole anywhere else in the world. It's amazing when you stand on this tee. You see all of the canyons around, but there is a little green area down there. Surrounded by a couple of bunkers. It's a great-looking par 3. It measures 215 yards. Very playable. And you never know, today might be the day where you make birdie.
Frank had hit the green, but just didn't have enough backspin.
You wonder what he was thinking on that.
Well, Frank, this is something we've seen more and more of in recent years, players just on the fringe.
Yeah, it's good to see. It shows he's thinking. You don't just have to grab the lob wedge. And that's it. Hybrid, putt, you name it, whatever works.
And he's made it onto the green now. Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. Frank, you can see by the reaction, it has been that kind of week. Just a few too many pars. From a par 3 to a par 5 here at the 12th, it measures 560 yards, a sweeping dogleg left, and there is some trouble down that left side.
This is a scary tee shot. There's no two ways about it, Rich. You've got to get the ball in play because you can really rack up a good score here. That water very much in play. Doesn't matter what club you decide to hit off the tee. 560 yards actually is reachable, believe it or not. But you've got to get it on the fairway. You don't really have to be too brave and try and take too much over there. The other thing, too, to consider about is this green is nearly half the length of an NFL football field. It is 55 yards from the front of this green to the back of the green. That's an absolute beauty.
Well, he's going to have to hit the same club a lot harder or just hit another one.
There's a big green, and they're going to use every inch of it.
Good chance now for a birdie. That was an outstanding play.
Well, it's almost a guarantee there after that shot.
Locked in on the read and the speed. I'll tell you, he's setting himself up for a good weekend. A former college #1 makes another birdie. 13th hole here at Wolf Creek, and Frank, anyone can say, oh, I'm going to take this one over the trees. But very few can stand up and say, I'm flying this baby clear over the mountains.
Yeah, if you take the direct route, obviously it's going to be much shorter than the 350 yards that it's measured as a dogleg right. So the direct line, well, I don't want to tell you the exact yardage because it might give you too much of a clue, but it might be worth taking. It's going to be a blind tee shot, though, and you're not quite sure on the outcome. Whoop, this is taken off on a weird line.
And it's going to be in the rough, it looks like. Oh, look out, Frank. Where's this one headed?
This is definitely rough, Rich, off the tee.
Shot now from the rough. Frank, what's he facing?
Well, the lie first and foremost. If it's sitting down, then obviously you're not going to get a very good contact. Nothing wrong with coming up a little bit short of the green. Problem is turning one mistake into another.
So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and now I'll have to rely on the short game.
Yeah, but a short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. See if he does it here.
Okay, good shot on the dance floor.
Even par currently.
That is a painful miss right there. And a bogey. Drop shot here at the 13th. So a tester from 4 feet. So that's a bogey, and now to 1 over par for the tournament. That concludes the second round here at this amazing golf course. And Frank, I'm really looking forward to tomorrow.
I certainly am as well. The players have gotten off to a very good start, and they must have a good feel for the course right now and know what they have to do in order to win.
EA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live third-round coverage of the Tiburon Championship. Just a good solid tee shot right there, about 280 yards. Second shot here at the 6th at Wolf Creek. What do you think of this approach, Frank?
Well, it's decision time, really, Rich. Do you want to try and fly it onto this green, or do you try and run it in between those two bunkers? Personally, I think you've got to fly it because you've got a backstop behind this green. All the mountains that sort of protect the back of this green. If anything, it should run back on.
Headed for the bunker, I think. That's a disappointment right there, Frank.
Yeah, green light special, really. Come up considerably short.
Well, in the sand, but it has been raked nicely, looking for something positive. A beautiful, soft touch out of the bunker. That's Mickelson-esque. Makeable putt right here. He is currently sitting at 1 under for the round. Solid par. Now on to the par 4 7th hole. Is this a reachable par 4, Frank?
Distance-wise, you would think so, but the designer has done something to avoid that, and that's put all this water in front of the green. It would take a mammoth tee shot, and that's something like 300 yards through the air if you're going to try and even drive this green. Is the risk worth it? Well, if you're just playing with your friends, maybe it is. Otherwise, you just lay it up just past those those bunkers on the right and the left. Get it down there on the flat. A little pitch you would think is simple, but because of the slope of this fairway, chances are you might not get a flat lie, and it's going to make that second shot that much harder.
Another good swing, and it looks like, Frank, another really good shot. Just a beautiful approach shot. And getting ready for the putt.
Richard's been a very good workmanlike performance. Yet another birdie.
Into the top 15 on the leaderboard. Frank, this is the kind of hole that you like to drop a bag of balls and just have fun. Hit it all day long as if you were at the range. Unfortunately, you only get one crack, and you better be good. This is a tough hole.
Well, if you find the water, actually, you might get another one up there. It certainly is a tough hole, though, Rich. The stream going all the way down the left-hand side, and that wraps right around the left and behind the screen, makes that tee shot, well, it certainly makes you think about that tee shot while you're on the tee. Prudent play, aim for the right edge of the green. There's nothing wrong if you just miss the green on the right, but miss the green by a yard on the left, you pay a very steep price.
Not terrible, but not his best.
Outside chance, really, for birdie, but really, it was a rather poor approach shot.
Speed wasn't bad on that long putt, but the read wasn't very good. Not a gimme, but well within his range.
Comfortably knocks it in.
Finishing up this front side here at the par 4 9th, 390 yards. And what are we looking at, Frank?
Well, it looks relatively straightforward, but it's anything other than that. Decision time again. Do you lay it up into that wide area of the fairway? If you're a longer hitter and you are out here to have a little bit of fun, then maybe you want to take the head cover off because you get a little bit of an advantage if you can drive it over that last bunker on that right side, or at least take that out of play, because you're only going to have a short pitch in here.
Oh, this looks good.
Certainly is.
This is just a superb performance. Great round to this point, Frank, and you can really see that reflected in his mood today.
Yeah, it just looks too easy. Swinging the club beautifully. Ball's going exactly where he wants it to. He's not trying to take too many risks. So consequently, he's getting birdie opportunity after birdie opportunity.
That one is in the bunker. Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
But still not done. A good third shot. Maybe get away here with par.
Superb shot.
Well, that's as good as it's going to get. There's going to be that one.
Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. That's a nice confidence builder right there. You make those for par, and you keep things steady. So through 3 rounds, just outside the top 10, what kind of a chance do you give a player who is sitting outside the first 10?
Yeah, it's slim. I certainly would not say none, though, Rich. You know, we've countless times over the years seen someone post an early one in and watch the leaders crumble at the end. Good opportunity tomorrow. Put a good round on the board and then just sit back and wait. And then remember, there's also the chance of a playoff.
EA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live final round coverage of the Tiburon Championship.
Oh, if this is up, it's good.
Ooh, got all of that one. In straight, 325 yards in the fairway. This looks to be at least an extra club, maybe 2 clubs going way up that hill to the green. Headed for the bunker? Oh, a bit unfortunate. Wasn't able to avoid the sand trap. Well, he'll be disappointed with that, no doubt.
Yeah, swing didn't quite look right on that one.
Routine stuff here, Frank, from the bunker?
You just got to be careful of that lip in front of him with his third shot coming up.
Pretty good shot right there. Fairly long, 25-foot putt here. Well, you just can't make up ground if you don't make putts. Drop shot here at the 14th hole. Well, that was a good-looking putt, just not falling right now.
Sadly, he's going to be disappointed.
So they'll tap in. Frank, you know full well, this can be a humbling game.
And an embarrassing game.
Now to the short par 3 15th hole here at Wolf Creek. What is this, Frank? Just a wedge or a 9-iron?
That's all, Rich, but it's very tempting to get greedy here. And, well, you pay the price, obviously, if you miss the green on the left down on those bunkers because they're a good 6-7 feet below the level of the green. But with a wedge or a 9-iron, who doesn't go aiming at the flag?
Good chance now for a birdie. That was an outstanding play.
Well, it's almost a guarantee there after that shot.
Suddenly a ray of sunshine with that birdie.
There is hope. And on the top 25.
Short par 4 16th hole measures only 393 yards. But Frank, as is the case with pretty much every hole, despite the yardage, there's plenty of trouble.
It does. It plays tricks on the mind's eye here. It looks like it's a dog leg going one way, then back the other way. But really, it's built as a straight hole just across the canyon. And that's the way you've got to play it. I don't think you can drive the green, even the longest hitters at 393 yards. But just a nice drive down there. Take the bunkers on, get it past there. And before you know it, you've got a little wedge in here. And it should sit up nicely for a birdie.
Good strike, good lie, good chance to attack the pin.
Got to be careful here. Downhill, he's got to time it good because your weight's a little bit more on your front foot. Oh, solid strike right in the heart of the green.
That's how you play the game, right there. Stick it in close and then knock in the birdie. Now this for birdie came away with par in the previous round. You have to make those from that distance. That hurts. You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. Been a little too much of that, Frank. Just sort of ho-hum pars. Frank, this is really a cool closing stretch here at Wolf Creek. Short par 3 15th, the short 4 at the 16th, and now the par 5 17th. You can make up some ground in a hurry as you come down the finishing stretch.
You certainly can. A good drive short of the little stream creek that runs across there, and this is doable as a two-shotter. You find the bunkers or trouble off the tee, then obviously you're forced to lay up, leaving that third shot across the water. But really a fun hole if you want to try and take that second shot on.
Good tee shot, right in the fairway, and plenty long.
Well, with a good shot here, Rich, I'll tell you, this eagle on the cards, hole very reachable from where he is.
Don't get many opportunities like this. This is a good place to take advantage. Steady all day long. That one about 20 feet away. He'll settle. And it's a long way to the hole from here. Never easy. You couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it. Just a couple of feet. Frank, where is that been?
Yeah, thank God for small mercies.
Finishing hole here at Wolf Creek is only 307 yards. Frank, where's the trouble here?
Short and to the right of this par 4. Really, there's a multitude of options off this tee. You could hit an iron, you could hit a fairway wood. Even some might try and hit a driver, but that's a little too risky. There's too many problems up ahead if you try and take this hole on. Really a short club off the tee, leaving yourself some area of 100, 70 yards, and you're going to be putting for birdie more often than not.
That was just a beautiful drive. He hit it solid and right in the middle. Well, he's going to have to hit the same club a lot harder or just hit another one. Appears to be what they call a commercial play. Very solid. So maybe a nice way to finish up with a good approach here to the 18th and a good chance for birdie. Birdie putt coming up. Had a par on this hole yesterday. Good try. Just didn't quite read the break, Frank.
It shouldn't be a problem, you'd think, cleaning up here for par.
Shouldn't be a problem here. Moves into the top 20 after the par. Frank, it was a great setting with great crowds. We saw plenty of very good golf. Your thoughts?
Well, I think the course really extracted some of the golf that we saw. It forced these players to play just some great golf, and it wasn't just like a pitch and a putt golf course. So I think seeing the guys tested, seeing the players tested at this level, it was a treat. EA Sports is proud to present PGA Tour coverage. Today, it's live opening round coverage of the Mountain Shootout. For those of you just tuning in, we're checking in on our featured golfer here at the First. Getting ready to get the tournament started. Frank, first tee jitters? Oh, everybody gets them. That's the beauty of it. If you don't, you shouldn't be playing this game. Just try and think nice and slow.
Right where they were aiming, in the fairway. Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
Tugged that one a little bit offline to the left. And he'll pay a bit of a price because that rough is fairly thick. Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
But still not done. A good third shot. Maybe get away here with par.
Frank, it's not about getting the ball close to the hole from that spot.
Well, he had no chance to get it close. I thought he had very, very, very little chance of getting it on the green. So given that, that was a very good shot.
A great roll right there. Just a pure stroke right in the heart. So, Frank, a par 4 to open, and we back it up with a relatively short par 3.
This green surrounded by 6 bunkers. Green also shaped slightly towards the player's left, so just keep your eye on that depending on where the flag is.
Not enough on that one.
Yeah, just seemed to baby it.
And he's set up for his second shot here, looking to knock it on the green.
Oh, that was solid, Rich. This one's safely on.
This one just requires a little bit of focus. Well, that's disappointing. He misses the par putt, and he'll have this for bogey. Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. To 1 over par early on in this round. Frank, plenty of scoring opportunities in the early portion of this golf course. We're now at a par 5, the third hole, and it's only 528 yards.
You can see why we're going to see a lot of people perhaps being 3 under through the first 3 holes, Rich. This par 5 bending to the right, very reachable. You just keep that tee shot nice and high off the tee. Let it carry as far as possible.
Playing his second shot here at the par 5. That shot does finish up on the green, but it sets up for a very difficult putt. Frank, I'm not saying he should pull out driver here, but this is a long putt.
Greens are fast, though. You never know. Good line, good pace. Might have a chance.
Wow, that was so close, Frank.
Just time to forget that one. I mean, he couldn't hit that much better.
Eyeing this putt for a birdie. Back to par for the round. Back over now to the fourth. Early in the round, still holding steady, even par on the day.
Yeah, it's got that feel it could go either way here. Next few holes will probably tell us which way. Now, this is not heading in the right direction.
No, it looks like it's going to be in the rough. That one ends up in the rough.
Oh, that went sideways.
Second shot coming out of the rough here. Frank, how good was that just to get it on the green?
Well, from that shot there, you would have thought for sure that there was no chance he had of finding the green. That was some shot.
Oh, you can see the frustration. Almost kicked his putter head right there with a drop shot here at the fourth. Not a gimme, but well within his range. So that's a bogey, and now to 1 over par for the tournament. Well, again, Frank, we get that good mix of holes here. We've had a couple of par threes, a short par five, and that opening par four. Now at the fifth hole, 424-yard par four.
The first bunker on the right, not really in play for the good players. Just be a little cognizant of that one on the left side, depending on what club you want to hit off the tee. Ideally, that line is the third bunker, the one in the distance. That's a good line off the tee here.
Just a good, solid tee shot right there, about 280 yards. Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on that. Easy birdie.
And getting ready for the putt. Oh, man.
I just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. Been a little too much of that, Frank, just sort of ho-hum pars. Frank, as we arrive here at the par 4 sixth hole, reasonably short at 373 yards, a lot of golfers arrive at a hole like this and they'll think, well, I'm just going to blast it away because it's such a short four. You think these kinds of holes require a little more thinking?
They certainly do, Rich. If you can't drive it to the front edge of the green, there's no point really trying to hit it through that narrow neck. You can just sort of knock a 3-wood down there, or something that's going to give you a decent yardage where you can at least spin that second shot. If you can guarantee that ball's going to stop when it lands, it's going to be much easier than trying to fashion some sort of pitch and run.
Frank, it makes the game easy when you play it from the fairway.
Especially when you play it from a lie like that.
Second shot, good look at the green. This is a good-looking shot. Chance for birdie after that beautiful shot. And it's a long way to the hole from here. Never easy. Frank, he might like this one. He might like... Oh, he's going to love it, Frank.
No, Rich, that was a huge putt. You don't expect to make them from that distance.
Well, Frank, this is the longest hole on the golf course, 602 yards. Obviously a par 5, though. But guys like Rory have to be thinking about making an easy 4, getting home in 2.
Yeah, you referenced it. Longest hole on the golf course. Yet Rory Mcilroy still reached it in 2. Game's about rhythm. When you have good rhythm, it just looks effortless. To hit the ball 300 yards through the air, that easy.
Frank, that swing looks lively and strong.
Oh, that had to fly 300. It's close to 310.
Into the thick stuff, that's a difficult lie. Ball sitting down here in the rough, he's digging in. Coming out of the rough and right up next to the hole.
Ooh, chance for birdie.
Good try, just didn't quite read the break, Frank.
It shouldn't be a problem, you'd think, cleaning up here for par.
Clean this up with a tap. Still even par for the day. Now to hole number 8. It's another par 3 with some water. Frank, only 150 yards. This is the shortest hole in the golf course.
But distance control is still very important here. If you can get the right distance, you could perhaps aim 10 or 15 feet left of the flag. You're only going to have a 10 or 15 foot putt. So just think of that. Water on the right there. Maybe just aim a little further to the left. You can still make birdie.
Still some work to do here at the par 3, Frank.
Yeah, you'd think there with the size of that green, this green would be an easy one to hit, but that's irrelevant now. Let's see if he can get it up and down.
So he didn't hit the green in regulation, but he still has a reasonably good chance to save his par, about 10 feet away. Settles in over the putt. Oh, I thought he had that. Oh my goodness, how did he miss that? So a tester from 4 feet. That is another bogey. It's getting messy, Frank.
Ouch.
Now to hole number 9, 501 yards. It's a par 5.
Yeah, we finished with the third par 5 on the front 9. You're just going to come through those sort of chute of marvellous trees that define this fairway. Just avoid the right side. Something down the left side is going to open up the second shot.
Well, that is a really good tee shot right there, Frank.
I think that tipped the 300-yard mark.
This could be a huge momentum swing here, Frank.
Yeah, one more good swing, and he's going to have an eagle putt coming up. I know you don't want to get ahead of yourself, but that is well on the cards.
And that one lands in the first cut, Frank.
Interesting choice coming ahead here. It'll be interesting to see how he reads this lie.
Frank, this ball's in the rough. Anything you change in your technique when a ball's sitting down a little bit?
Yeah, you put the ball back a little bit further in your stance because you're going to get a bit of grass between the ball and the club face. You have to allow for that. And keep that club moving. That grass is going to be that grass is going to create a certain amount of resistance.
Well, that would have been a bonus had it gone in, but still, reasonable chance for par here.
Yeah, there's no damage. You're not going to birdie every hole.
Has this to save par. Okay, has it and stays at 1 over par. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo for EA Sports. And we are back on this beautiful day here at Banff Springs in the Canadian Rockies. Set to kick off all the action on the back 9. The 10th begin with a par 3, Frank, 218 yards.
And I have no idea why this is called Little Bow, because over 200 yards, you really have to bow up with this tee shot. Yeah, that's for sure. Bending there, you need something that comes out of the gate very, very straight and with a decent height on it as well. If you want to land on that left side of the green and make it stop.
Into the tall cabbage. That ball is swallowed up.
Remember, out of the rough. Expect the ball to jump forward a little bit.
And it is in.
Amazing. Amazing.
Out of the 11th hole, it's a par 4, 417 yards. Frank, what's the key here?
A nice little draw down that left side would be the ideal tee shot. The carry on the 2 little bunkers down the left side really isn't overly long, but that's the desired entry into this green.
He has given this one the full treatment. Perfect release through the ball, and this shot is on the fairway, over 300 yards.
Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
Excellent shot to within 10 feet.
You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point.
And with that birdie, into the top 25 on the leaderboard. All right, on to the 12th hole, 442-yard par 4. What do you like about this hole, Frank?
Just a nice par 4 that sort of bends to the player's right. A lot of people will just stand up here, grab the driver. I don't really think you have to do that, Rich. The hole's not overly long. Just something short or down that left side. You're only going to have a short iron in for your second shot.
Pretty good drive here.
Another straight one. Oh, that's got to be 300 yards, isn't it?
Frank, this is a golf course where if you were caddying for a player, you might remind them to stop and
smell the roses.
And smell the roses. Take it all in, right? I mean, it's that kind of a golf course.
Yeah, we play a lot of sterile venues now, I think is the best way to put it, 7,500 yards plus, and we don't get to smell the roses. So you come up here, it's a long trip. It takes you a while to get here, that's for sure. Flying to Calgary, drive up here. It's known as a scenic area with the ice fields, but you get to sort of embrace nature and realize it's an outdoor game, and that's one of the benefits of it.
That's good stuff right there. Wonderful approach, and now a really good look at birdie. Not a gimme, but well within his range. Wow, that was so close, Frank.
Just time to forget that one. I mean, he couldn't hit that much better.
Makeable putt right here. He is currently sitting at 1 under for the round. Solid par to remain 1 under. Well, this is a good hole right here. Par 3, 225 yard, 13th. Frank, what do you think?
Well, it's called sulfur. I can't remember what element that is on a periodic table, but hardest thing here is not to figure that out, but figure out what club you're going to use. Just a fraction downhill, just over 200 yards. It does narrow up when they start to tick the flag in the back, but there's a nice fat target there, sort of those first 2/3 of the green.
Not terrible, but not his best.
Yeah, outside chance, really, for birdie, but really, it was a rather poor approach shot.
Looks like he just misread that. Putt for par. He needs one. Wow, he got robbed, Frank.
No, it's like kissing your mother-in-law.
So with that, the score is now at even par. Well, here we are at the 14th hole. It's par 4, 442 yards. You like this hole, Frank?
I do, but if you were spraying it off the tee here, then there's all sorts of problems. Bunkers left, trees right. This is a fairway you must hit.
That appeared to be a good strike right there, Frank.
No, good. It's just towering. Look at that hanging in the sky.
Nicely played shot, about 310 yards down the fairway. And he's set up for his second shot here, looking to knock it on the green. Appears to be what they call a commercial play. Very solid. What a nice shot. Right on the green and a pretty easy putt on the way. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt.
I don't know what they were looking at. Even par, currently.
Well, not in contention, but in for par. And Frank, ahead on the green, you could have a really crazy putt if you're not careful.
This is probably the most undulating green on the golf course, so you do not want to be going in with too flat a second shot.
Frank, not the longest hitter, but sometimes you win tournaments by putting it in a good spot, and that's where we are right here, 280 yards out.
Yeah, 280 down the middle of the fairway. That'll never get you in trouble. That's an absolute beauty.
Settles in, looking to knock it in tight. Frank, you played in conditions all over the world. Here come the winds now. What's the mindset?
Well, this is really what separates the men from the boys. This is where you've got to tell yourself, and it's an advantage to you. Obviously, the scores will go up a little bit, given the conditions. But once again, this is going to suit the stronger player today.
You like the old phrase, swing easy when it's breezy?
Definitely when you're hitting it into a head breeze. But down breeze, tee it up a little bit, try and ride that wind some more.
And he's made the green. Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. Struggling a bit with the flat stick, and a drop shot here at the 15th hole. This for him would be one drop shot. So that's a bogey, and now to 1 over par for the tournament. Frank, the 16th hole, 414 yards, par 4, is nicknamed GOAT. Would that be greatest of all time, or is it just because the possibility you could see old Billy out there here in the Canadian Rockies?
I'd like to think it's the greatest of all time. I've never seen a GOAT hit a draw, that's why, and that's what's needed off this tee once again. The first bunkie should easily be able to carry that, and, well, if you're the greatest of all time, this is a fairway, you'll certainly hit.
Oh, look out, Frank. Where's this one headed?
This is definitely rough, Rich, off the tee.
Second shot coming out of the rough here. So missed the fairway, and now he's back where he needs to be.
Yeah, minimize the problems.
Third shot, looking for a good one. Settles in over the putt. Just trying to keep this round on track. Has that putt, stays at 1 over. Just 2 holes left here at Banff Springs, and Frank, another par 4. This one short, 374 yards.
It is. It's named Sarsi, which is a tribute to the Indian tribes here and the First Nations of Canada. So just think about that when you're teeing it off here on what is not an overly difficult par 4.
Into the thick stuff, that's a difficult lie. Second shot from 120.
There's a big green, and they're going to use every inch of it.
On the green, and a chance for birdie. And it's a long way to the hole from here. Never easy. How does that not go in?
Amazing. Stroke looked good. Line looked good. Just did not take that final break.
Got it for par. Well, here we are at the final hole here at Banff Springs. 578-yard par 5, and Frank, a chance to finish the round with a flourish.
If you're one of the fortunate to hit this fairway, it's very reachable, but well protected by bunkers, left, right, central bunkers as well. You really have to be aware of two things, the wind direction and exactly how far you can carry that tee shot if you want to find this fairway.
Well, the tee shot has landed in the bunker. All right, Frank, second shot.
Yeah, it looks like a good lie. Just take maybe half a club more than the distance allows. Still got to check the wind. Don't have to fly the ball all the way to the flag from here.
Out of the sand and back on the fairway.
Yeah, good shot. Just really utilized that little bit between the ears. Realized he couldn't reach the green and instead opted for fairway.
Frank, not where he wants to be, but not out of the hole here at the par 5.
No, but Rich, to drop a shot here would really set him backwards. Well, from in trouble, Rich, at least he's back in play.
On the fairway from the rough. That is professional with a capital P right there.
That's stealing.
Well, Frank, this sets up for an exciting finish here at Banff Springs, a 578-yard par 5.
There's just about a bunker in play for every length of tee shot here, so know exactly which one you can carry and exactly which one you cannot reach.